Well, school kitchens are cooking up lunches again, whether it's to go or for kids coming into the cafeteria. But some changes by the FDA could pose a serious risk for kids who have food allergies. Our Nohelani Graf is on this one. And Nohe, this is something that parents need to keep an eye out for, especially so when it comes to kids who might get sick from eating certain things. Good morning.
Absolutely. Good morning, Kaylee. You know, for families dealing with food allergies, reading labels is a lifestyle, but the FDA did ease some restrictions when it comes to labeling because of COVID-19 and supply changes. So now that schools are getting back in the game, it's time for families to get a plan together.
We're still seeing a slowdown in the food supply chain. COVID closed processing plants and affected farms. So the FDA threw them a lifeline, making labeling requirements more laxed, allowing for some ingredient substitutes. But here's the issue.
When you eat a new food or a food that you think you've had several times, you can still have a reaction.
The 8 most common allergens can't be adjusted, but the devil is in the details with other foods, and producers don't have to note the change.
Because something as simple as switching a peanut flour for an almond flour, a canola oil for a sunflower oil, could change everything for a family.
That's exactly right. It just depends on your allergens.
Pediatric allergist Dr. Vivian Hernandez Trujillo warns the risk goes up as schools get food items in bulk, so it's important for families to have an action plan.
We can't predict when a reaction is going to happen. Reactions happen, and unfortunately, accidents can happen. So being prepared 100% of the time.
She says always have EpiPens ready and let teachers, principals, school nurses, or any other caregivers know.
That they know, A, how to identify that a reaction is happening, so knowing what the signs and symptoms might be, and then knowing how to administer the epinephrine autoinjector. It's very important.
And make sure your kids know how to spot and voice a problem, so a trip to the cafeteria doesn't turn into a trip to the ER.
So some extra tips. The labeling change came at the beginning of the pandemic with no warning, so you should continue to check the FDA's website for updates. Also, stick with brands that you already know and trust, and be your own advocate. Find out which manufacturers provide the food for your child's school and contact them directly to ask about any ingredient changes that have been made. Kaylee.
Okay, just a few things that we can do to try to take a little bit of power back and keep our kids safer. No, hey, thank you very much. Appreciate that heads up.